Hey everyone, welcome to another part of my in-depth review of the new Dark Angel Codex that came out today. As always, my name is Jay, and today I'll be talking about the Elite section and any formations that have to pertain to the Elite section. So, the Elite section now is very congested because this was a section that had a lot of stuff happen to it in this Codex. Several things got moved from HQ to Elite, and then on top of that, you can't take Deathwing as troops anymore, so you can't move the Deathwing out of the Elite slot. So it's going to be a lot of choices for the Elite. And there are some formations, obviously. I'm going to go over the formations after that pertain to these. Now, some of these are required in the Demi Company, and some are required in the Deathwing Assault group. But we'll talk about that all in the future. So starting off, the Company Veteran Squad is now 90 points. It used to be 90, so it hasn't changed at all. It used to be an HQ. I believe it got moved. Could have moved. Or all the command squads got moved. Something like that. So basically it's just a squad of veterans. Weapon skill 4. Strength toughness 4. 1 wound. Initiative 4. 2 attacks. Leadership 9. 3 up save. Their war gear, bolt gun, bolt pistol, frag grenades, crack grenades, they show no fear. Combat squads, grim resolve, which of course gives them stubborn and lets them overwatch at a better ballistic skill. You can include up to 5 additional veterans for 18 points each. They take melee ranged weapons and special weapons. So the cool thing is they once again have access to grav cannons. If you really want to give them, or grav pistols, sorry, for the ranged weapons. They can take a combi grav or a grav pistol. And the special weapons, they can take a grav gun. So that's cool. And they have access to a drop pod, razorback, or rhino as dedicated transports. And of course, if you take a double Demi Company, you get them for free. Cool stuff there. Up next, we have the Dreadnoughts. Now, the Dreadnoughts are also required, potentially, in the Demi Company. Dreadnoughts are 100 points. They used to be as well. Yeah. So, not a whole lot changed there. Yeah. The big change with the Dreadnoughts in this Codex, like it was in the Space Marine Codex, is that Dreadnoughts can now be taken in squadrons. So you can have a squadron of 3 Dreadnoughts, which is pretty cool. It'd be kind of cool to see 3 Dreadnoughts run across the table. And each one, you can include up to 2 additional ones for 100 points each. Weapon skill 4, strength 6, front armor 12, side armor 12, rear armor 10. Initiative 4, 4 attacks, 3 hull points, which I think there's an extra. I remember they used to have 3 attacks or 4, but I think maybe they got an increase in attacks. They have Multi-Melta, Power Fist, Storm Bolter, Searchlight, Smoke Launchers, and they have Grim Resolve as well. So they can overwatch a full ballistic skill as well. Pretty cool stuff. Now the debate is, if you take the double Demi Company, you get free drop pods for them if they're a squadron of 1. Otherwise, you can have a squadron of 3 running across the table. Cool stuff either way. And they have access to Dreadnought weapons, Missile Launcher for 10 points, Twin Linked Autocannon for 15. You can replace the built-in Storm Bolter with a Heavy Flamer for 10. You can take extra armor. Cool stuff there. Add 25 points, and you get a Venerable Dreadnought. Still 125 points. Weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, strength 6, 12, 12, 10. Initiative 4, 4 attacks, 3 hull points. Multi-Melta, Power Fist, built-in Storm. It's basically the exact same thing, except the Venerable Dreadnoughts have Deathwing. The Dreadnoughts don't. So the Venerable Dreadnoughts are venerable, obviously, so you can reroll the pen. You can make your opponent reroll the pen if they pen you. But they're also Deathwing, which gives them Fearless and Hatred of Chaos Space Marines. Okay. Because the Fearless Dreadnought really doesn't matter. Dreadnoughts don't have leadership values, they can't be feared. And same thing, you include up to 2 additional ones, so they can be taken in a squadron of 3 for 125 points each. And then the rest is all the same. Yeah. Up next, we have the Deathwing Terminator Squad. My favorite squad that was in the last Codex, and now in this Codex, I don't know where they're going to fit. Probably in a combination in the giant formations. These guys can be taken in their own detachment, which, as I mentioned in my first video, is incredibly weak in the sense that you have to put them all in reserve, and they don't get Deathwing Assault. So you have to roll then turn 2. Now, if you put a Raven Wing, which I'd recommend you have to put some Raven Wing on the table, then you have to choose turn 2, they can all come in. But the problem is, when you're doing an all Deathwing army, a very large portion of your points will be off the table turn 1, and that's really leaving you susceptible to pain. And then you can't do anything until turn 3, you know? So obviously Deathwing Terminators are 200 points. They went down in cost, but I still think they're overcosted. I really do. Because normal Space Marine Terminators are now 175. Deathwing went down from 220 to 200, but Thunderhammer Storm Shield went up, so it balances them right back. If you love Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators, it balances them right back to their old costs, and they're still now more expensive than Space Marines Terminators. And they've lost a lot of what makes them interesting and cool, because they can't do Deathwing Assault turn 1. You know, they can't even start on the board turn 1 in these formations. Yeah, and they have Deathwing, Grim Resolve, Split Fire. Obviously, their stat line: Weapon Skill Ballistic Skill 4, Strength Toughness 4, 1 Wound, Initiative 4, 2 attacks, Leadership 9, 2 up save. Include up to 5 initial Deathwing Terminators for 40 points each. And they used to be 44. Yeah. Any model can replace it with their weapons with Lightning Claws for free. Thunderhammer Storm Shield for 10 points. Used to be 5. And they take a Land Raider now as a dedicated transfer. Now, one of the big changes as well in this codex is that Land Raiders are no longer venerable if you take Deathwing. There's no longer a Deathwing vehicle. It used to be a 30-point upgrade to purchase Deathwing vehicle, and then they, the vehicle becomes venerable. That's gone. There's normal Land Raiders, which I'm okay with that. It was a cool trade-off, but it was expensive for Land Raider. So as I said, the big changes with Deathwing is that they can no longer be taken as troops, and I'll go over the formation with them later on. And then we have the Deathwing Command Squad. Now these guys, they were all, they weren't, and they used to be HQ actually. I think all the Command Squads used to be HQ. Deathwing Command Squad, same stat line as the Terminators, other than the Deathwing Champion, which has a higher weapon skill of 5. They're 200 points. They used to be 220, so they went down to 200 points as well. So again, got cheaper, but Thunderhammer Storm Shield got more expensive. Special rules: Deathwing, Grim Resolve, Honor or Death, which is he just has to accept the challenge, right? And Split Fire. Options: 1 Deathwing Terminator may be upgraded to a Deathwing Sergeant, replacing his Power Fist with a Power Sword for free. 1 Terminator in the army can take a Deathwing Company banner or the Sacred Standard. Sacred Standard, friendly units in the Dark Angels faction within 12 inches of the model. Reroll morale checks, pinning checks, and fear tests. In addition, all friendly models of the Dark Angels faction in the same unit have counterattack and relentless special rules. That's pretty cool. And it's 35 points. Might be worth taking. 1 Deathwing Terminator army may be upgraded to a Deathwing Champion, and he gets the Halberd of Caliban, which is a Strength +2, AP2, melee, 2-handed. 1 can be upgraded to a Deathwing Apothecary for 5 points. And the same thing. They could take a Land Raider as a dedicated vehicle. Transport. Then up next, the Deathwing Knights. Deathwing Knights were an interesting group from the last codex. I really didn't use them much. I really should have. But now it's not too late to use them. It's just, they don't have Deathwing Assault. But they're the same as they were before. Basically in every way. Still 235 points, so they didn't change. Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 4, Strength Toughness 4, 1 Wound, Initiative 4, Attacks 2, the Night Master has 3, Leadership 9, 2 up save. The Deathwing Knights have the Mace of Absolution, which is the same as it was before. Strength +2, AP3, melee concussive with Smite. It has Smite mode, where oh, never mind. It is changed. It used to be a one-time only. You declared Smite mode, and then you got it for 1 turn. This time it's a 1 attack. So when the model equipped with this weapon makes its close combat attacks, you can choose to make a single attack. If it does so, roll to hit as normal, but resolve the attack at Strength ×2, AP2. That's pretty cool. So if it's attacking something like a vehicle, and you really need to hide Strength, because otherwise it's just normally, they'll be going at Strength 6, but if you want them to go at Strength 8, pretty good. Do 1 attack, better chances, good stuff. And then we have the Storm Shield, which of course gives them a 3-up invulnerable save. And then the Night Master has the Flail of the Unforgiven, Strength +2, AP3, melee, concussive, Fleshbane. Good stuff there. So no smite mode there. You can include up to 5 additional knights for 45 points each. Special rules, Deathwing, Fortress of Shields, which is cool. It's just like the old ones. You add 1 toughness if any model is equipped with a Storm Shield and is in base to base with 2 models from this unit. Gets +1 toughness. Grim Resolve, Hammer of Wrath, Precision Strikes. They can take the Perfidious Relic of the Unforgiven for 15 points. What does it do? Oh, it just gives them Adamantium Will and Fear for, you know, screwing over Psychics. And can take a Land Raider Crusader, or Land Raider Redeemer. Like the other guys. They take any Land Raider. That's what I meant. For as a dedicated transport. Up next, the Ravenwing Command Squad. Once again, moved from HQ to Elites. 120 points for Command Squad. I believe it got slightly cheaper. Nope, same as it was before. And you get 3 Ravenwing Black Knights. They're cool. Weapon skill, skill 4, strength 4, toughness 5 because they're on a bike. 1 wound, initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 9, 3 up save. Bolt pistol, plasma talon, Corvus hammer. A Corvus hammer is strength +1, melee rending. Plasma talon is just a 18-inch range, strength 7, AP2, rapid fire, gets hot, twin linked. Frag grenades, crack grenades, teleport Homer, which again helps really good. It really does help if you're. It really does need. You basically need to combine Ravenwing and Deathwing. Really helps. Fluff-wise, it makes no sense, but game-wise, it would make. Special rules: Nation Alone Fear, Grim Resolve, Honor, Death for the Ravenwing champion only. Hit and Run, Ravenwing, which allows them to reroll their Jinx saves. And Scout and Skilled Rider, so that means these guys have a 3-up rerollable. They're going to stay alive. Unless they meet a giant flamer. But besides that, there's not that many flamers that are AP3. Hellstorm cannons. The annoying flyer from Chaos Space Marines. And the one Forge World Imperial Knight. That'd be brutal. Gone. We include up to 3 additional Ravenwing Black Knights for 40 points each. 1 Raven Black Knight in the army may take a Ravenwing Company banner or a Sacred Standard. And 1 can be upgraded to an Apothecary, taking Arthesium for 30 points. That'd be awesome. Because then that would give them a 3-up rerollable Jink plus a 5-up Feel No Pain. That would keep them alive. And 1 may be upgraded to a Ravenwing Champion, replacing his Corvus Hammer with a Blade of Caliban for 5 points. Cool stuff. And then we have Rhino, Razorback. Nope, that's it. We're done. That's the Elite section. Cool. Pretty straightforward video. So to sum up the Elites. Oh, of course we got to go with the formations. Let's go with the formations. But to sum up the Elites, basically, very congested because now you can't get the Deathwing out of the Elite section, and a bunch of HQs got moved to the Elite section. Most of them are solid choices, but it sucks. Just, you know, having to take the Knights over. I don't know. Knights are good, still good. They have Smite mode. Smite mode is slightly changed, but I think it's still going to be fun to use. So, yeah. So as I mentioned, most of them are in the Battle Dubbing Company. The Command Squad, the Company Veteran Squad, and the Dreadnoughts are all in the Battle Dubbing Company, which I've already gone over. But the Deathwing Redemption Force has the rest of them, this is the Deathwing Redemption Force. So it's a formation in the Lion's Death detachment, right? So basically you need to take one of the following. 1 model chose the following: Belial, Company Master, Interrogator, Chaplain, or Librarian. 2 to 5 Deathwing Terminator squads. 0 to 1 Deathwing Command squads. 0 to 1 units of Deathwing Knights. 0 to 1 units of Venerable Dreadnoughts. So there's the rest of the elites that I just mentioned. Restrictions: if this is taken, the unit of Venerable Dreadnoughts in this formation may only include 1 model, and which must be given a drop pod as a dedicated transport. All independent characters in this formation must have Terminator armor. Special rules: preferred enemy, Chaos Space Marines, big whoop. Here we go, Deathwing Assault. So if you take this formation, you get Deathwing Assault, and this is the only time that Deathwing Assault is in this codex. Here's Deathwing Assault. So essentially, all units in this formation must be placed in reserve. Must be placed in reserve. Deep Strike Reserve. In Deep Strike Reserve. Which begs the question, why, if you're taking this formation, you can't really then take the Land Raiders? Makes no sense. And then you make your secret note. Immediately after determining warlord traits, make a secret note of which of your turns you would like to Deathwing force in your army to arrive. Your turn 2, 3, or 4. All units in this formation automatically arrive by deep strike at the start of that chosen turn. And that's really stupid. I don't like it, personally. I think it's silly. Because, A, after warlord traits, so you need to, you're going to choose your turn before you even roll to see who goes first. Deployment zone. Like, that's really early on in the faction. You know, before you deploy, before you even choose who gets to go first, you need to determine what turn you're coming in. Now, the answer is 2 in most cases. Because the thing is with Deathwing was that it was amazing in the last codex because you had the choice to put them in reserve, and they could choose, and everyone, basically 99% of the time, you make them come in turn 1. Because they're useless if you bring them in turn 2, and then they can't do anything until turn 3 for assaults, right? So I would personally either keep them on the table, so deploy them on the table, so that way they're already in position, and they can do a counter assault if I'm going second, or they're just on the objectives and stuff. And especially if your opponents have a huge army in their deployment zone, or if you know, it matters. A lot of the time, actually, I found it better to keep them on the table. But if I put them in reserve, I always chose to bring them in turn 1. There was rarely a circumstance which worked out in my favor that I chose for them to come in turn 2. And now you can choose them all to come in turn 2, 3, or 4. So they have to be placed in reserves, and they can't come in turn 1. When before it was they could come in turn 1 or be placed in reserve, like they could on the table or in reserves. Now it's the worst of both worlds. It's silly. I don't know. And then the turn they come in, it's called take the fight to the enemy. They can run and shoot in any order that turn. So rather than them coming in turn 1 from deep strike and having twin-linked guns, they can come in turn 2 and run and shoot, which prevents them from being clumped up. But seriously, you roll a 1 on your run or a 2 on the run, doesn't really affect anything. So this, unfortunately, is a huge hit to the Deathwing. It really is. And the problem is with the Deathwing Redemption Force, as I mentioned, is you can't make your Redemption Force too big. Because if you make Belial and even 3 squads of Terminators, that's more than half your army. 3 squads of Terminators and Belial is, in like a 1,500 point game, is 2/3 your army in this force. The other 500 points being in the Demi Company. So that means for turn 1, your opponent's full army will probably have access to, you know, and be firing at your Demi Company and do a lot of damage to them. And then turn 2, you get to come in and fire. I don't know. It's unfortunate. This is Deathwing are, by, in my opinion, the hardest hit group of the Dark Angels. You know, it happens. Unfortunately, so that's gonna be a combination. I'm still gonna try them out, but that it's not as good anywhere close to what it was last Codex. So us Dark Angel Deathwing players, we're gonna have to figure out how to survive this. We're gonna work hard and figure it out. So that's it. Yeah, the rest are all in the fast attack for the formations. So thank you very much for watching. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, going over them all. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section down below of anything else you agree with, disagree with, anything you want to add. And stay tuned for the next part where I'll be going over the fast attacks. Till next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.